Princess Sofia loved her life in the castle. She loved her family and her friends. But sometimes, Sofia wished for an adventure. One sunny day, Sofia played with her pixie friend Lily. "Wouldn't it be amazing to be a mermaid?" Sofia asked. Lily giggled. "Imagine swimming with the fishes." Sofia closed her eyes and wished. "I wish we could be mermaids just for one day." She opened her eyes. Nothing happened. "Oh well," Sofia sighed. "It was just a wish." But little did Sofia know magic was already at work. Sofia and Lily strolled through the castle gardens. They discovered a hidden fountain. It sparkled in the sunlight. The water shimmered with rainbow colors. "Wow," Sofia whispered. "This fountain is beautiful." Lily dipped her tiny hand in the water. "It feels tingly." Suddenly, the fountain began to bubble. Swirls of pink and blue light shot up from the water. Sofia and Lily gasped. The magic was real. The magical water surrounded Sofia and Lily. It tickled their noses and toes. When the bubbles cleared, Sofia looked down. She had a shimmering tail. It was a beautiful shade of purple, just like her favorite dress. Lily giggled. Her tiny wings were gone. In their place was a sparkling blue tail. "We're mermaids!" Sofia cried out, her voice echoing with wonder. Sofia and Lily splashed in the fountain. Their tails swished back and forth. They were mermaids, just like they wished. The fountain water rippled. It opened up into a secret underwater passage. "Let's explore," Sofia said excitedly. She took Lily's hand, and together they swam into the swirling water. The passage led them to a beautiful coral reef. Colorful fish swam all around them. Sofia and Lily giggled as they dodged playful bubbles. They met a family of seahorses playing hide and seek. They even saw a wise old sea turtle napping beneath a giant clamshell. "It's even more amazing than I imagined," Sofia said, her eyes wide with wonder. As Sofia and Lily swam deeper, the water grew darker. The coral reef, once bright and colorful, was now dull and gray. The fish, once playful and bright, hid amongst the rocks. They looked scared. "What happened?" Lily whispered, her voice trembling. Just then, a group of little fish darted past, their eyes wide with fear. "The sea witch!" they cried. "She has stolen the ocean's light!" Sofia knew she had to help. "Don't worry," Sofia said bravely. "We'll find the sea witch and bring back the light." Sofia and Lily followed the frightened fish through a maze of seaweed and rocks. The seaweed swayed gently with the currents, creating an almost hypnotic dance that made it difficult to navigate. The fish darted ahead, their scales shimmering in the dim light filtering through the water. Sofia and Lily had to be careful not to get tangled in the long green tendrils that seemed to reach out for them. They finally reached a dark and gloomy cave. The entrance loomed before them, a gaping maw that seemed to swallow the light. The water around the cave was colder, sending shivers down their spines. The cave's walls were covered in strange, bioluminescent algae that cast an eerie glow, making the shadows dance in unsettling ways. The entrance was guarded by two grumpy-looking eels. Their eyes glowed with a menacing light, and their sharp teeth were bared in a perpetual snarl. The eels coiled and uncoiled, their movements slow and deliberate, as if they were waiting for the perfect moment to strike. "Nobody enters the sea witch's cave," one eel growled. Its voice was low and gravelly, echoing through the water like a distant thunderstorm. The other eel hissed in agreement, its body undulating with barely contained aggression. Sofia took a deep breath. She could feel her heart pounding in her chest, but she knew she couldn't show any fear. The fate of their underwater world depended on their courage and determination. She knew she had to be brave. The journey had been long and perilous, but turning back now was not an option. She steeled herself, drawing strength from the thought of her friends and family who were counting on her. "We need to see the sea witch," Sofia said, her voice strong and clear. "It's important." Her words carried a sense of urgency and resolve that even the eels couldn't ignore. Lily stood by her side, nodding in agreement, her eyes filled with determination. The eels looked at each other. There was a moment of silent communication between them, a shared understanding that this was no ordinary request. They could sense the gravity of the situation and the sincerity in Sofia's plea. They could tell Sofia was kind and brave. Her aura radiated a warmth and strength that was impossible to fake. The eels, despite their grumpy exterior, were not immune to her genuine spirit. "Very well," the second eel grumbled. Its voice was reluctant, but there was a hint of respect in its tone. The eels slowly moved aside, creating a narrow passage for Sofia and Lily to enter the cave. "But be careful, little mermaids." The warning was clear and ominous, a reminder of the dangers that lay ahead. The eels' eyes followed them as they swam past, their expressions a mix of curiosity and concern. The sea witch is not known for her hospitality. The cave's interior was dark and foreboding, filled with strange sounds and shadows that seemed to move on their own. Sofia and Lily could feel the weight of the sea witch's presence, a powerful and ancient force that watched their every move. They knew they had to be cautious, but their mission was too important to abandon now. Sofia and Lily swam into the cave, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and determination. They had heard tales of the sea witch, a powerful sorceress who had taken the ocean's light, plunging their world into darkness. It was dark and cold, the kind of cold that seeped into their bones and made them shiver uncontrollably. The walls of the cave were slick with moisture, and the air was thick with an eerie silence. In the center of the cave sat the sea witch, surrounded by glowing orbs that cast an otherworldly glow. These orbs seemed to pulse with a life of their own, illuminating the witch's face in a ghostly light. But these orbs weren't filled with light. They were filled with a swirling, inky darkness that seemed to absorb the light around them. They were filled with darkness, a darkness that mirrored the sorrow in the sea witch's eyes. "Why have you come here?" the sea witch boomed, her voice echoing through the cave like a thunderclap. Her eyes narrowed as she scrutinized the two young mermaids standing before her. The sea witch's voice echoed through the cave, reverberating off the walls and making the orbs tremble slightly. Sofia took a step forward, her heart racing. She knew this was their only chance to save their home. "We came to ask you to return the ocean's light," Sofia said, her voice steady despite the fear gnawing at her insides. "The reef is dark and the creatures are afraid," she continued, her voice filled with a desperate plea. "Without the light, our world is dying. The reef is dark and the creatures are afraid." The sea witch sighed, a deep, sorrowful sound that seemed to come from the depths of her soul. "The light hurts my eyes," she whispered, her voice filled with sadness. "I took it away because I couldn't bear the pain anymore," she whispered, her voice filled with sadness. "I took it away because I was lonely and afraid. The light reminded me of everything I had lost. I took it away because I was lonely and afraid," she confessed, her voice breaking. "The light reminded me of everything I had lost. But I didn't realize how much it would hurt others." Sofia and Lily exchanged a determined glance. They knew they had to find a way to help the sea witch, not just for their sake, but for hers as well. "We can help you," Lily said softly, stepping forward. "We can find a way to ease your pain without taking away the light." The sea witch looked at them, a flicker of hope in her eyes. "You would do that for me?" she asked, her voice trembling. Sofia and Lily nodded, their hearts filled with determination. "Yes," Sofia said firmly. "We will do whatever it takes to bring back the light and to help you find peace." The sea witch smiled faintly, a tear slipping down her cheek. "Thank you," she whispered. "Perhaps there is hope after all." Section 8. A Princess's Kindness. Sofia felt sorry for the sea witch. She had always heard stories about how mean and cruel the sea witch was, but when she saw her up close, she realized something different. The sea witch didn't seem mean, just sad. Her eyes were filled with a deep sorrow that Sofia couldn't ignore. It was as if the weight of the entire ocean was pressing down on her heart. Sofia approached her cautiously and said, "It's okay to be sad sometimes." Her voice was gentle, filled with understanding and compassion. The sea witch looked at Sofia, her eyes reflecting the darkness she felt inside. "But taking away the light won't make you feel better?" Sofia continued, her words piercing through the sea witch's gloom. "It will only make everyone else feel sad too," Sofia added, gesturing to the sea creatures around them. They all looked so forlorn, affected by the sea witch's sadness. With a determined look, Sofia swam closer to the sea witch. She wanted to show her that there was another way, a way filled with light and friendship. "We can be your friends," Sofia offered, her hand outstretched. "You don't have to be alone anymore." "We can visit you and bring you pretty shells," Sofia said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "And we can tell you stories about the world above the sea, stories filled with adventure and joy." The sea witch looked up at Sofia, her eyes filled with tears. She had never felt such kindness before. It was a new, overwhelming feeling that made her heart ache in a different way. No one had ever offered to be her friend before. The sea witch had always been alone, shunned by others because of her powers and her sadness. But now, here was Sofia, offering her a chance at friendship and happiness. The sea witch hesitated for a moment, then slowly reached out and took Sofia's hand. A small smile began to form on her lips, and the darkness in her eyes started to fade. As they held hands, the underwater world around them began to brighten. The sea creatures, sensing the change, started to gather around, their eyes filled with hope. Sofia and the sea witch swam together, surrounded by the sea creatures. It was a moment of pure magic, a moment that showed the true power of kindness and friendship. The underwater world was no longer a place of sadness and darkness. It was filled with light and joy, all because of a princess's kindness. And from that day on, the sea witch was never alone again. She had friends who cared for her, friends who brought light into her life, and she learned that sometimes all it takes is a little kindness to change the world. The underwater world thrived, and the bond between Sofia and the sea witch grew stronger with each passing day. It was a testament to the power of compassion and the beauty of a kind heart. As they waved goodbye to the sea creatures, Sofia knew that she had made a difference. And the sea witch, with a heart now filled with light, knew that she was no longer alone. The sea witch gently touched one of the orbs. Slowly it began to glow with a warm, gentle light. She touched another orb, and then another. Soon, all the orbs in the cave were filled with light. The sea witch returned the orbs to the ocean. The light spread through the water, chasing away the darkness. The coral reef was bathed in a warm glow. The fish came out of hiding, their scales sparkling. The seahorses played and the old turtle smiled. The ocean was beautiful again. Sofia and Lily hugged the sea witch goodbye. They promised to visit her again soon. Sofia and Lily swam back through the secret passage. They reached the fountain, their hearts full of joy. They splashed back into the fountain. The magic swirled around them once more. When the water settled, Sofia and Lily were back to their normal selves. They were no longer mermaids, but they would never forget their underwater adventure. Sofia and Lily walked back to the castle, hand in hand. They had faced a scary sea witch, but they had also learned a valuable lesson. "Kindness is more powerful than fear," Sofia said. Lily nodded in agreement. And sometimes, Lily added, even sea witches need a friend. Sofia smiled. She knew that even though their mermaid adventure was over, the magic of kindness and friendship would stay with them always. And so, Princess Sofia returned to her castle life, her heart filled with the wonder of the sea and the importance of kindness.